Welcome back. It's lovely to have you here. If you are a replay watcher, thank you so much for being here as well. And welcome to all the Grizzlies who are in the chat right now. Now we're going to be looking at the Dylan Rounds case. So if you missed the previous case that we just covered, the Kelly Marie Vasquez case, please check that out as well. I make sure to always cover these not only in these streams that we deep dive, but to also clip them for you guys so that you can watch just individual cases. And so you can share that as much as possible. Also, greetings to Pascal, who's in the chat. It's lovely to have you here. It's always nice to see you here. And I'm also in your chat when I can be too. So it's very nice to see you here. Okay. So let's look at this case. This case is also, this is starting to get very popular. A lot of content creators are starting to cover this. Of course, I'm not covering it. The Monsters Are Now Bed is covering it. And Chris from the Monsters Are Now Bed is actually out there in the area right now. He live streamed today from the area where himself and his cousin are helping in the search as well. So yeah, if you could check that out, that would be great. Thank you, Pascal. I appreciate you too. A lot. Okay. And I don't just say that. You can ask the Grizzlies. I really do. Yeah, Chris is searching today. So if you guys don't know yet, the Monsters Are Now Bed. He was on my channel last week discussing the Delphi case, the mob crew. And yeah, he's actually out there. They've got a Phantom 4 drone and are taking drone footage. He actually went to the town to check it out as well and took some footage. So go over there as well. Not now, stay here now, but go over there as well and subscribe because you don't want to miss that because it's like, again, kind of like boots on the ground map time. It's like literally being right there. So yes, okay. So let's look at this. Dylan Rounds. He's been missing since May 27th. He was last seen in Montello, Nevada. His truck and boots were found about 5 miles west of his camper. And Dylan, his phone, and his wallet have not been found. Okay, so that's a picture of him on the left-hand side, of course. His mother, Candace, shared a whole bunch of new pictures recently on Facebook, which has been really great to see as well. So you can also send information to, and I will share the missing person flyer with you now, but info@heavydsparks.com. So the Diesel brothers are out there, which is so awesome for this case. I mean, whoa, that's a huge channel with so many resources helping out in the search. I think that's really fantastic. But this case, as they've described it, is a riddle. You know, they're like, whoa, this is like kind of solving a riddle just based on what they know so far. So there's a $20,000 reward, okay, for finding Dylan. He was last seen on the 27th of May, 2022 in Montello, Nevada. He's from Lucin, Utah. Well, the farm he was living at part-time was in Lucin, Utah. And he's 19 years old, 5'10", 160 pounds with brown hair and brown eyes. All Dylan's vehicles were found on his farm in Lucin, Utah. We're going to do map time and everything, of course. The only thing missing is his wallet and phone. Foul play is suspected. Search parties are being conducted. Please report any information to one of the contacts below. So you can see there's Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram as well. Find Dylan Rounds. So the hashtag Find Dylan Rounds. Okay. And there's also a little scan QR code that you can do there. And you can contact the Box Elder County Sheriff if you have any information. 435-723-5227. Candace, Dylan's mom, is asked to not use the tip line, like finddylanrounds@gmail.com, to say, have you searched there? And have you searched there? Because it's kind of like what they get a lot of course. It's, you know, the usual questions. However, they're like, we've searched everywhere. But if you have any tips or anything like that, yes, please do call it in or email. Or, yeah, email Heavy D Sparks. I don't think EquiSearch is involved. Not that I've heard of. But Heavy D Sparks, the Diesel brothers, are involved. So yes. And also, Nate Eaton from East Idaho News has interviewed Candace, Dylan's mom. So has Sleuth Mom, right over here, also interviewed Candace. And there's one or two other podcasts and channels that have also spoken to her. So if you haven't checked that out, I will link it as well afterwards. So Dylan Rounds, 19, born August 1st, 2002, is from Idaho. His whole family's from Idaho, and he has been living part-time in Lucin, Utah for the past 3 years. This would be his 3rd season out there. Now, that to me was quite important because I'm like, whoa, he was living there for 3 years. And so it means that he was 16 when he went out there, living by himself in this remote area. And I'll show you on the map afterwards. But I was like, why? Like, just because, I mean, he loves farming and it's not, it's okay, but it's kind of a really remote area and it's surrounded by some really strange, as they say, standoffish people. So I'm like, why? But yeah, okay, I get it. He was only out there for certain seasons, which I would assume would be like spring and summer. And what he was doing out there was trying to grow crops of, obviously, literally lucerne, animal feed. And he wanted to prove to the world that, yes, you can grow the stuff anyway, basically, because it's a desert. People are all saying, why would he be out in the desert growing anything or farming? Well, that's the whole point, And he was telling his dad that he was really excited. Basically, he spoke to his dad on the Thursday. We'll go over the timeline now. But he was saying he was so excited about all the seeds he just planted and about his crops they're going to grow and everything. So, yes, that was a project that he was so passionate about. Oh, my word. Yeah, when I heard the name Candace and Don, I was like, oh, no, not again. Same. You are in Idaho. Okay, Danny. Oh, cool, Rob, that you watched part of Chris's show this afternoon. Me too. I watched that as well. Oh, EquiSearch coming as soon as tomorrow. That is so great. If EquiSearch is also going to be on it, wow. That's amazing. That's what we want for every case, right? But that is amazing. To have the Diesel brothers and EquiSearch on this, and Chris from the Mob Crew, think about it. That's all, wow. Okay, so Dylan wanted to work on growing animal feed or lucerne, even in the most remote area. He was showing the world what was possible. It was a 600-acre piece of land owned by his family. He also worked other odd jobs and on other farms, especially in between seasons on the family farm. His family believes there's foul play involved. And so, remember the hashtag that Naomi Irion's family created? Hashtag trust the family. I would love it if we could all use this hashtag in this instance as well, because the initial stage is so important. You got to trust the family. When they say, these are Dylan's patterns, this is what he wears, this is what he likes, this is what he would do and wouldn't do, you got to trust the family. They literally know him the best. And in this case, especially, which we'll get into now, there's one of his most personal items was found, which was his boots. Okay, so here's some pictures of him that his mom also shared. You can see he's there on the tractor. She said it was like he wasn't born in the right generation because he didn't even know how to play video games. He didn't want to, he didn't like TV, video games, movies, any of the usual stuff that maybe a teenager would. He just wanted to farm. He wanted to be out there and farm. That's what he wanted to do day and night. And so you can see him here on the John Deere. There's a picture of him as a little boy. She said he was very, very particular about the boots that he wore from when he was 3 years old. He would only want one pair of boots, wear it till it was worn out, and then he wants another one that's the same. So they always bought similar boots, even though he outgrew, right? You can see she said she still got like the small ones, and as he outgrew them, she still got them because he's that particular. In every phase of his life, he wants a particular type of boot. Yes. Okay, so if we continue on, that picture on the right-hand side, he was, what do you call it? Baling hay all day, collecting hay all day, something like that, right? And got so tired that he just went to sleep on his truck that day, is what his mom said. Leslie, we do not know if he had autism or anything like that. We don't know. Yeah, we need a win in one of these cases, I pray soon. Okay, so this is just, I was just trying to, you guys know Be My Down. I try to figure out who's who and what. So there's his mom that's pictured in on the right, Candace Cooley. And then his dad, which is her ex-husband, Justin Rounds. And then his grandfather initially owned the farm. From what I read and heard, it was like the grandfather owned the farm, but then the family bought the farm from him. Although, I wonder if he still owns the farm. Maybe someone knows in the chat. Anyway, he initially owned the farm, and his grandmother was the last person to speak to him on the phone on May 28th. His best friend is known as JD. His other friend, or someone that knows him, is known as Chase. There was a farm worker called Jim, and then a former farm worker, John, which we'll get into, and then one barefoot weirdo. That's kind of based on everything I've watched, all the interviews, everything. Those are the key I don't like saying characters in missing persons cases, but you know what I mean if I say the key characters, okay? Yeah, this man seems like such an amazing boy. Oh my gosh. I think he was like a farming genius and an extremely hard worker and extremely passionate about what he was doing. So to think that he's gone missing since May 27th is very, very sad. He wouldn't leave his farm. He wouldn't, they were like, his seeds haven't even been planted right now. Like the ones that we'll get into it, but like he had seeds in his grain truck, and he said he has to put the truck back in the shed so that they don't get too wet from the rain and stuff like that. But they're like, he would never just do that, just like abandon his farm. That's why I say we got to use the hashtag trust the family, because the family knows, you know, the police are, and I really hate to say it, but they really are dragging their heels on this one. I don't know why. I don't know why. So timeline, here we go. On Wednesday, May 25th, during a call with his mother, Dylan told her about a weird encounter with a man walking barefoot in the desert. Can you imagine how scary that must have been? Like, wait till you see the map. It's just like, do you want to see the map first, guys, so you understand, or no? Are we good? Because damn, the area is very remote. So to think of a man walking barefoot in the desert, like what was he doing there? The man asked if he could use Dylan's phone, which he then allowed. And then he asked for a ride, which Dylan then declined. That's what Dylan told his mom, that he, don't worry, I didn't give him a ride. Dylan said that this man appeared to be high on something. And I wonder, I put in brackets there, I wonder if phone records show if this man did make any calls. Like, did he call anyone, or what did he use the phone for? Imagine it barefoot, right? Barefoot makes it a little strange. I agree. Okay, so what I'm going to do is just like, let's hold on. Let's do this. I want to just show you so that you can get, and then we'll get back into this timeline. Look at this. You won't believe it. Let me just take this picture off quickly. Okay. I mean, you will not believe it. I had to just calculate the distance there. Montello, okay. I know I didn't play the map time song now, but we can do it again later. Montello is where he was last spotted, and we're going to get into that whole timeline. But just look at it here. And this is on the Nevada side. You can see the line here separating Nevada and Utah. And, oh man, Chris from the Monsters Under Our Bed and I, we did some behind the scenes map time. We were map timing this whole thing out because we knew sort of where it was. So Lucin Airport is here. And so after really looking for the farm, I found this, which I thought the farm was, and it kind of matches the layout of his camper and stuff. But now my question is, what is this? But anyway, it was later determined that actually the farm is right here. But now look how remote this is. Just look at it. It's really, actually scarily vast. It's more vast than you could ever imagine. Right? So this is the, what do you call it? The grain shed where he said he needs to put his truck in, but we'll get into all the details. And his boots were found somewhere around here. Wait, they just said like kind of south. We're going to look at pictures. Okay, so somewhere around here, his boots were found. And the boots had one spot of blood on it, which is very, very scary. And remember how pedantic he is about his boots. Tom N, welcome to the chat. Hello, Grizzlies. How sure are they that he's out there still? Thank you so much for supporting the channel. And no one knows. They're just suspecting foul play, but they don't know. But do you see what I mean when I say remote? And this line that I've drawn here, that was where he farmed. And 5 miles away in this area is where his camper was. So he actually kind of lived here. It's a huge property, okay? He lived here. This is, I have to thank Gray Hughes. Thanks, Gray Hughes, for finding this, okay? Because I couldn't find exactly where the camper was. I knew it was like 5 miles away, but he had a little picture from someone else, possibly one of the family members, and could match it up to being around here. So somewhere around here is where he kept his pickup truck and the camper. Okay. Yeah, the boots were next to a mound of dirt. Yes, Aaron. So to think he got crops to grow in that. Isn't that amazing? Because he did get crops to grow in it. It's not like a failed project for 3 years. He was growing stuff. But just look how remote it is. Oh my word. And yeah, to think that Chris from the mob crew is also out there now. Damn. Okay, so we can look again at the map later, but let's continue on with the timeline. Yes. Okay, so here we go. All right. So on Wednesday, wait, we did this. Yeah, on Wednesday, May 25th, during a call with his mother, Dylan told her about a weird encounter with a man walking barefoot in the desert. Then the man asked if he could use Dylan's phone, which he allowed. Then he asked for a ride, which Dylan then declined. So now you understand when I say barefoot man in the desert, we're talking about that desert. Dylan said he appeared to be high on something, and I wonder if phone records show any calls that this man made. The barefoot man went into town and was asking about Dylan, and this was apparently on Sunday, May 29th. That's according to what Heavy D Sparks, the Diesel Brothers channel, said. They said that this man, the barefoot man, went into town on Sunday, May 29th, asking about Dylan. That's weird, because he was already missing from the day before. Okay, so we're going to get to why I say the day before. But that's kind of strange for that barefoot man to be there asking about him. I mean, it might be coincidence, but I just don't think so, right? That's the thing. Barefoot guy used the phone, so there's a record of where he called or tried to call. And man, I'm so curious about that as well. Yeah, the officer drove around with his boots in the trunk for days and then passed them on to his mom. And they were only sent in for forensic testing on June 6th. But this is a very botched beginning of a case because the truck has been touched by like 200 people now. They've been inside and outside the truck. I mean, they didn't treat this as a criminal case or something. They're just like, oh, a missing persons case. Okay. It was very chillaxed in the beginning. Then, of course, there's the Utah side and the Nevada side and two different sheriff's departments figuring out who's doing what because of where he was last seen and where the farm was and where the phone pinged and all this. So this is just terrible. The farm is at, yeah, the farm is where his boots were at. So I'm going to show you, don't worry. It's all going to be, we are all, I believe we're all visual learners over here. So yes. Okay. So the barefoot man went to town. Okay. Note the town, by the way, is Montello, Nevada. And the population is a whole 59 people. 59 people. Just let that sink in. Let that sink in. This does sound a lot like the Daniel Robinson case. It really does remind me a lot of it. Of course, it's missing in the desert. The police, oh man, are not showing all that much passion, but also just kind of in the beginning, it's like, oh, okay, he's an adult. Maybe he went wandering off, you know, but no. Yeah, Sleuth Mom, and thank you also for covering this. Good job, everyone. Let's hope we inspire many people to cover this. Yeah, sorry, Bill. You guys know I giggle sometimes. Okay, but 58 of them questionable. I agree. Okay, so someone in town allegedly gave this barefoot man a ride to Dylan's farm, but there's no conclusive evidence or following up of this. That's what I learned from this East Idaho News interview. If you guys don't know who Nate Eaton is, we spoke about him quite a bit based on the Lori Velo Daybell and Chad Daybell case. So if you missed that coverage, there's a whole playlist for that too. He's done such a great job on that case. He did a great job actually interviewing Mr. David Robinson as well at CrimeCon this year. And now he's also interviewed Dylan's mother. So imagine the barefoot man asking, hey, do you know where like Dylan is or his farm? And then someone actually drives him there. Now, Dylan's mom said that he told her that the man looked like he'd been out there for days, that he was bloody and scratched up. That's what she said in the interview. Now, everyone assumed it was Chase Venstra. Law enforcement said that Chase had called them all day, but they hadn't talked to him yet. See, that's just not nice. Why not talk to him? He's calling you all day. He is since in custody on unrelated charges. Dylan's mom says that Dylan did give Chase a ride that day, but just told her that he didn't because she knew it would get upset. Now, on Sleuth Mom's coverage, she did cover this of like, Chase has a very strong alibi. So the barefoot man's likely not Chase. He allegedly has a solid alibi and was 200 miles away at the time. But there was some confusion initially, and this guy was put on the flyers and things like that. But it's because of that interview on East Idaho News, because I listened to it 3 times today, just to make sure. But it is Dylan's mom initially said Chase, that Dylan gave Chase a ride that day. However, Chase knows Dylan. So Dylan wouldn't describe him as a random barefoot man. So even though Chase is a sketchy subject, he might not at all be involved because of the strong alibi being 200 miles away. Unless he knows the barefoot man. We've always got to leave room to speculate. All right, so Dylan also spoke with his mom and dad on the phone on Thursday, May 26th. And then on Friday, May 27th, Dylan's debit card was used at the Saddle Sore Bar in Montello, Nevada. So I see it's 2 words there, Saddle Sore Bar and Grill. But look at it. It's like, really, I would be scared to go in there, wouldn't you guys? I do actually like abandoned buildings and towns, and I like it when nature takes over and it's kind of beautiful. But this is just like an abandoned small town with like 59 people. Ooh, that makes me anxious. Oh my word. Ooh, someone knows something, right? Someone knows something. I guess that's the point. Why we want to share this is, what if someone knows something, they see this, and they maybe will be inspired to say something. Yes. That's the thing. If someone touched or wore the shoes, there could have been DNA, and they need to confirm if that spot of blood is in fact Dylan's. Yes. Okay. Yeah, that interview is very good as well. Okay, so this is the bar. So you can see it here. Wow. Then on Thursday, May 26th. Wait, I already said that. Dylan's debit card was used at the Saddle Sore Bar. Sorry, second time. Now we know. On Friday, May 27th, a friend said that he saw Dylan in person in town. Wait, I just want to check. Yep, sorry, I've got my little calendar drawn out here as well. But then on Saturday, so think about it. It was on Thursday that Dylan's debit card was used at the Saddle Sore Bar in Montello, Nevada. So initially he was missing on the 26th. But then this friend, who I'm not sure which exactly friend this is, but we're just going to have to trust him. But it's in red because I'm just like, is it? This friend said he was definitely in town on the 27th. And Dylan's mom said he does sometimes stay in Montello. So he may have actually been staying there. Okay, so interesting. On Saturday, May 28th, Dylan spoke with his grandmother at 6:51 a.m. Told her that he couldn't really talk, so she called him, because there was rain forecast and he needed to put his grain truck in his shed. He told her he'd call her right back. But she has not heard from him since. Okay, so get the time. If you got your Grizzly notebooks out. Yeah, he's 19. He's 19, not 21. That alone is weird. I get what you're saying. You're talking about the bar, right? The Saddle Sore Bar and Grill. Oh, my word. I think the barefoot guy's been ruled out by the family. See, we're going to go into it. There's some others. Well, there's like, Chase is the least likely, not even quite anymore person of interest. Then the barefoot guy. And then these other 2 guys, Don and Jim, are like, ooh, the red flags are flying for me. And I see they're also flying there for the Diesel brothers. I'm like, oh, you guys feel the same, right? So now this thing is, we're gonna get more into this. Let me just carry on. Because I get sidetracked. On Sunday, May 29th, his grandmother called Don and Jim. Now remember those names, okay? And asked them to go and look if everything was okay on the farm. When they got there, they noticed that Dylan was not there, but his truck was there. So first, Don went. We're going to get more into it layer by layer, okay? Can you just eat at the bar and not drink at 19? Possibly. I believe he went there for hamburgers, and there were only 2 places to really eat in this very, very tiny town. It's really tiny. I mean, maybe I should show you guys. Oh, not that one. Sorry for all the back and forth. But if I show you, you'll understand. Montello is truly so tiny. Look at this. This is it, guys. This is it. This is Montello. Right there. So yeah, if I type in the Saddle Sore Bar, we will find it here. I think it's here. Oh my word. But it's tiny. Look, this is the whole town right here. Look at it. And then we zoom out. Look at it. Tiny. Right? So it really is a very, very small town. So I believe he went there for like, look at me over here. Imagine me doing it like this. Hey guys. Okay, so we're going to carry on. All right. So, Don, if you remember, I said former employee. Don was fired by Dylan. Biggest red flag. If I had one now, woohoo. Don was fired by Dylan 3 to 4 weeks before he went missing. That's a huge red flag. Because Don was friends with Dylan's grandfather. And Dylan's grandfather was described as a business partner with Dylan. So there's a problem in a way. If Dylan doesn't like Don, and Dylan didn't, he fired him. Okay. I don't know how old Don is. Does anyone know? Because I want to know too. I want everything. I don't know his surname or anything right now. I'm just like Don and Jim. Okay. So, but he's friends with his grandfather. So he's not 19, put it that way. Yeah, 60s, I think. Yeah, the shoeless guy was scratched up and bleeding. Yep. We just covered that as well. Yeah, Don is now caring for the farm. Go figure. Now Don can have the farm because you see, he got fired. But if he got rid of Dylan, because we always look for motive. That's what explains why would there even be a potential crime. We don't know that there's a crime committed yet. The family does suspect foul play. But why? In such a remote area, even though there's some shady people all around, apparently lots of methods around in the area, all around the outskirts, weird people camping in the area. So there's a lot of strange characters around, but to me still that Don is a very, very red flag, a very big red flag. So the grandmother called Don and said, hey, can you go out there and check because I haven't heard back from him? And he said he called me back. So see, Don was the first one on the scene, checking out the truck, checking out the area, of course, you know. You see what I mean? Then he went to fetch Jim, so then both of them were there. Wow. Okay, wait. We already saw this. Okay, so when they got there, they noticed that Dylan was not there, but his truck was there. Later, they realized that his truck had been pressure washed. It had rained, and there were no tracks or footprints leading to or from the truck. Okay, then. That's weird too, right? Yeah, is it too obvious? Town of 59, but they have a bar. Well, on Monday, May 30th, Dylan's best friend, JD, called Dylan's mother, Candace, and asked if she had heard from Dylan. He said that Dylan's grandmother had not heard back from Dylan, that Don and Jim were out at the farm and there was no sign of Dylan, and that Justin, Candace's ex-husband, so Dylan's father, had also not heard from him. The family called local law enforcement and search and rescue operations began. Within an hour and a half, they located Dylan's boots approximately 100 yards south from where his grain truck was parked, 5 miles west of the farm. So that's where that detail there, I'm like, wait a minute, what? 100 south of the grain truck, right? And 5 miles west of the farm, behind a mound of dirt, just casually tossed down. Dylan is very particular about his boots and has been that way since he was 3 years old. He wore Georgia work boots. Yeah, they pressure washed off the evidence, which we're going to look at. So photo credit of this is Heavy D Sparks. I think every single one of us. Chasing Truth also did an episode on this. Forgot to mention her. Sleuth Mom, East Idaho News, Chasing Truth, Gray Hughes, obviously myself, the Mob Crew. We've all covered it. So I really hope lots of YouTubers will cover this as well. Now, if you look here, Dylan's grain truck, you see, that's his truck. And there's the grain truck shed right behind it. And where the boots were found. Okay. Now, this is my question. Did they search under the mound of dirt? Oh, I would dig that whole mound up, right? Oh, I would hope so. Search and rescue was out there. So they did say they've searched everything. Okay. I don't know if Daniel Robinson's car was washed. I think it was just rained on a lot. So you can see the pictures here. And then you see here where they're going to say where Dylan lived. Those are 2 different areas, 5 miles apart. Oh, yeah. Michelle After Dark also covered it. Yes, true. This is the thing. Another complicating factor is the story is straddling the Utah-Nevada border. Easy for authorities to pass responsibility. Families appeal to Elko County for search and rescue. Right? That's the problem. It's just like, wow. Between the two, that's the thing. It's like, who's going to, it's actually quite difficult. Okay. Where Dylan lived. So I say your photo, Sleuth Mom. Sleuth Mom, I'm not sure if this is like your photo, but I saw it in your episode. I haven't seen it anywhere else. Okay. But so if it was Diesel Brothers or someone else, let me know. But I got this from Sleuth Mom's episode, this picture. There was apparently a drop of blood on the boots. The police took the boots in as evidence, but only sent them for lab testing on June 6th. So that took quite some time. Yes. My heart goes out to Dylan's mom. Her interview was very informative. Law enforcement needs to step it up. It was good, right? Yes. So those are the boots. Okay, Diesel Brothers. Did they share this picture? I watched that episode so many times, but by the end of it, my brain was just like a whole mix of everything I'd just seen. I've been deep diving this one. Pretty much, yeah, solidly for like 3 days. Just deep dive, just like dig, because it's really interesting. The more you dig, you're like, what? So you could see the grain truck in the background and the disturbed soil a little bit in the footprints. That's search and rescue, they say. And so this is the mound of dirt, right? And so for the boots just to be chucked there very nonchalantly is quite strange. Nightbot, you side-modded me? Remember, Nightbot is not a real person. I don't know what Nightbot did. Yeah, there's footprints on that mound, but I believe that was search and rescue, is what the mom said. Am I right? Yes, okay. So, we continue on. Those are the boots. That's what his mom shared on Facebook. So the family couldn't find the keys to Dylan's truck, so his dad broke out the back window. Dylan's mom said that he never locked his truck. Law enforcement in Elko County was notified about the case on Tuesday, May 31st in Elko County. Okay, so the others heard about it apparently on the 30th. The family realized later that Dylan's truck had been pressure washed. No tracks, no mud on the tires, no mud on the rims, but mud in the wheel wells. So they missed that. Whoever pressure washed this, and there were no tracks, remember, leading to or from the car. No footprints either. So that's really strange. We were first notified of this case. This is from the press release. We were first notified. Now, help me make sense of this, guys. Okay. We were first notified of this case on May 31st, 2022, when we responded to Montello on a call that someone was being held hostage in Montello. Sheriff's Office deputies responded to Montello and searched a residence with the consent of the owner. At that time, we reached out to Box Elder County and offered our assistance. Now, does this sentence mean that they heard about this case when they were busy responding to someone being held hostage? Or are they implying that it's got anything to do with this case? Because I'm a little confused there. A little bit confused. Small town, how many are pressure washers? That's the thing. It's such a small town. Surely, who's got a pressure washer? That's a very specific thing. Apparently, they did search all around the mound, but I would really hope that they have one of those. We call it caterpillar. What do you guys call it? Those. Now you know. Those things. Is it called a backhoe, something like that, to dig up that mound? Yeah. Why wasn't the heel torn apart flat? That's the thing. Yeah, they said his truck was dirty all the time, just about. And to think that the wheel well, we'll go there now. And also, I put this picture there to remind myself that the key was not found either. So not his phone, not his wallet, not the key. And it was locked. And we're going to get more into it now. Lieutenant Peter Pronza says, correct, Danny. Law enforcement cannot play nice with suspects, potential killers. Cast a wide net, drag them in. Yes. Okay. So here you can see the truck is all clean on the outside, but look at all that mud on the inside of the wheel well. But in between the tires, you see the tread of the tires. There's no mud there. That's how they were like, oh my word, this has been pressure washed. Okay. Yeah, what's in that mound? Okay, so here's a picture that his mom also shared of him. Very nice picture. And there's how, again, another view of how remote this area really is. That would be the road driving to. In the distance there, at the end of the road, would be the farm. Excavator, very nice. Backhoe. Excavator covers a wide range of heavy equipment. Yes, yeah, I'm thinking bulldozer, but exactly an excavator. Yes, that makes sense. She talked about what kidnapping that today. Talked about that today, as well as the $33,000. Check all the rumors. Ooh, I would be scared. I would also be. I'd be really scared to live there alone. The mound is at the farm area. We'll look at maps one more time after this, so you guys are not confused. Okay. A tall person pressure washed the truck if they didn't see the mud. Now listen to this one. Note, the seat of Dylan's truck was adjusted to the point where Dylan's mom, who's 4'11", did not have to adjust it to drive it. So as soon as she got in, she could reach the pedals. Remember, Dylan's like 5'10", so that's not where he would have the seat position. The truck was also placed in the position of four-wheel drive, but four-wheel drive was not currently working. The transfer case in his vehicle got messed up in the winter. So whoever did that messed up. Now you know it's not Dylan who parked the truck like that. Dylan's phone last pinged at 3:41 p.m. on Saturday, May 28th, from a Lucin, Utah cell tower. So within a 15.4-mile radius from that cell tower. The farm does fall in this area. Okay, 3:41 p.m. on Saturday. Remember, his boots were found on the farm, so his last known location was on the farm on Saturday, May 28th. However, there's one little question I have there, which his mom actually brought up in that East Idaho interview and with the Diesel brothers, right? So he disappeared sometime after the call with his grandmother on Saturday. Note, his mom confirmed that family have been looking into Dylan's social media accounts, so sometimes his phone seems active, but it isn't. It's them doing their due diligence, because she said some people are freaking out, like, oh my word, his phone, but it's not his phone being active. His family believes that Dylan was taken and that foul play is involved. Aerial footage showed tire tracks in the wash in the Montello area, single pickup tracks. The tread is similar to Dylan's, but law enforcement is yet to test the tracks to see if it actually matches Dylan's tires. And I wish they would do that now, because it's going to rain again and then those tracks will be gone. Yeah, the parents took the car. When was that, and why was it not tested for evidence? Well, the dad broke into the back window to see what was there and, see if Dylan's guns were in the car still, which I still wonder if they were. I don't know that answer, but I think so. But I don't know. And then, the parents were allowed to take the car and actually have the window repaired as well. So really, they said about 200 people have now tampered with the car. Okay, so yes, law enforcement, if they could go test out those tracks, that would be amazing. Candace says that because it rained, this was interesting to me. I listened to it a few times. I can't believe they haven't tested the tracks. Oh my word. He had 3 guns and a pistol was missing. Wow. Oh my gosh. So, Candace says that because it rained, these tracks would have been made sometime late on Sunday afternoon. There are marks where the truck fishtailed, which means they were kind of in a rush. And she said that locals have said, if you ever want to get rid of someone in this area, you just wait till it rains and take them out to the wash. And she explained that it's kind of like the sand is so loose in the wash area that if you just disturb it a little bit, like a whole lot falls down. So that's why they say that. Yes. I hope any YouTubers out there find him and show up the lazy please. Well, Chris from the Mob Crew is out there right now with his cousin Nick. So imagine if they do find him. Wow. We'd all be so proud. Now, the wash is on the Bureau of Land Management land, so BLM land, which again reminds me of Daniel Robinson's case a little bit. Not that it's got anything really to do with the BLM speculatively, but I'm like, oh my word. Dogs, choppers, ATVs, and more have searched the whole farm and the area around the farm, including drones, of course, and people. Volunteer search parties have been happening and are still planned. Please check the Facebook page for updates. Law enforcement on the Utah and Nevada side are not doing as much as the family has hoped they would. That's a little bit of an understatement. Sometimes Dylan stays in Montello, so his mother is uncertain. This one. She said sometimes he stays in Montello. So she's uncertain if the call to his grandmother happened in Montello or Lucin. Did he even make it back? Sorry, I know I'm saying Lucin wrong. Lucin. Now, again, I rewatched Sleuth Mom's interview with Candace just to figure out if that's kind of the same thing she was saying, but she did. She said there's the possibility that he called his grandmother at 6:51, right, on the Saturday morning, saying, I can't talk right now. I have to go and put my grain truck in the shed. But he could have potentially, there is a possibility that he made that call from Montello because the police haven't confirmed where that phone call came from based on pings. They did say, yeah, we'll look into it. We're going to have something that's way more accurate, but then they never got back to her. Potentially, that means there is a slight possibility that he actually never even left Montello. And let's say then someone else took his truck and drove it to the farm and all that. And someone else who would know about the farm and how it works and whatever would put the grain truck in the shed. And someone else would then lock the pickup truck, move the seat and pressure wash it. Do you know what I'm saying? Yes. Since then, they have confirmed the call was made from the farm. Okay. Because I listened to everything today. So good if it was, that he was last there. But from everything I listened to, including your episode, I was like, oh, there's still a slight possibility. But okay, if they did, unless it came from Candace's mouth, please don't repeat it. Well, we got to consider all options, right? But I get what you mean, Mr. E. There might be a lot of rumors going around. Yeah, and toss the boots, exactly. Oh, my word. Okay, let's continue on. Additional notes, so I just had to put a few more things. It was not uncommon for each individual family member to not hear from Dylan for a few days. He was in contact with family frequently, but they only realized on Monday, May 30th, that he had actually not been in contact with anyone. So each individual person might only hear from him every 3 days, but then they're like, whoa, none of us have heard from him. It's been confirmed with phone records that the last call that Dylan made was on Saturday to his grandmother. In the early stages of the search for Dylan, law enforcement did not fingerprint the truck. They allowed the family to take the truck, and a broken window was even repaired. Any hope of DNA evidence on the truck has been destroyed because by now too many people have been in and around the truck. The family is in contact with Ford to see if they can find any tracking information for the vehicle, just to see. And the family does not have a GoFundMe set up, so please do not donate to the scams out there because there's some really sick and evil people that have launched a GoFundMe for Dylan Rounds and are putting the missing persons flyer on there, and there's already over $1,000 donated on there, and it's not organized by the family at all. Always try to look who the organizer is, but you never know. People who get up to all sorts of mischief could actually get away with something like that. Yes. Okay, so there's no GoFundMe from the family. Karen, Dylan's grandma, called John, and he went to check out the farm, saying that the truck was locked. He didn't know if Dylan's guns were in it, and that he couldn't find Dylan. That was an interesting statement to me, because that's what Dylan's mom said, the grandma said, from everything the grandma remembered, right? So imagine Don going there and saying, yep, went out there, truck was locked, didn't know if the guns were in it, couldn't find Dylan. He then went to get Jim, and they returned to the farm to look more. So from Saturday night until Monday morning, Don and Jim had supposedly been looking for Dylan on the farm. You see? Phil Criminal passes the headache pills for this one. I know, right? Mr. Grizzly saw me very stressed today because I'm like, oh my word, this case is huge. It's just like there's so much. And yeah, Don is so sus. Yes. Even me, my head was spinning. My gosh, this case is hectic. Oh my goodness. So get that from Saturday night till Monday morning. The only two people that were on the farm supposedly looking for Dylan were Don and Jim. Remember that Dylan had just fired Don 3 to 4 weeks before. And Candace said that Don and Jim are trying to point the searchers in the direction of Montello. instead of into the wash area or, you know, just the remote area around. They're like, no, 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 you got to go all the way that way to Montillo's. I think they're like thinking, let's go the opposite way of what these guys are saying. Yes, they did, Saleo. Yes, they did. Can you believe it? There's my red flag there. I'm like, red flag. Gosh. Don and Jim said that it was the first time that Dylan had ever closed the gate when he'd come to drop the truck off. Oh, really? Very interesting. Right. You see how sketchy these people are looking? So, according to them, Dylan must have driven his pickup truck to his camper. But his dad says that Dylan would usually just take the shortest route and would walk it. He said Dylan wouldn't drive his pickup truck. Candace said no, he wouldn't do that. So you see what I'm saying with these two right here. Don and Jim are the only two guys that have connections to the farm and were there. Motive? Well, they would take over the farm if Dylan was no longer there. Don is also Dylan's grandfather's good friend. Grandpa is business partners with Dylan, but Dylan doesn't like Don and fired him. You see? Yeah, I don't know how tall he is. I don't know anything about this Don dude. I wish we could see a picture. The family is offering a $20,000 reward for information that helps bring Dylan Rounds home. He is described as 5'10", about 160 pounds. He has brown hair and brown eyes. Anyone with information is encouraged to call the Box Elder County Sheriff's Office at 435-734-3800. Okay, and so that is my presentation. And then I noticed, I'm sorry, this has been a bit of a long episode. I just want to show you this quickly because this is footage taken from the wash area. So let's do it like this. With the tracks, this is chopper footage, which I think was from the Diesel Brothers, but it's of this wash area with the tracks. So let's see it. Okay, so there's that. If Don was fired, why was he out there? Because Dylan's grandmother called him because, you remember, Dylan's grandfather is good friends with Don. So the grandmother called him like, hey, man, like it's a long-time friend. Like, do you know what's happening? Because we haven't heard from him. He's like, oh, cool, I'll go check. So that is why. And for everyone asking how tall is he, I don't even know his surname at this point. I don't know how tall he is. I don't know what he looks like. I don't know his surname. I just know Don and Jim, who lived on the farm too. Don recently fired red flag. And we also don't know why he doesn't like Don and fired him. That I also want to know. We don't know that right now. I would love to do a background check on Don, but number one, I'm in the Netherlands, so I cannot do background checks on any Americans ever. Yes, that is just like something that's just, oh man, I wish I could. In so many cases, I would deep dive so hard. So yeah, but I have tried to have those background check accounts before, but as soon as they pick up, you're in the Netherlands, I can't. So I can't do it. And I don't know anything about this Don besides what they're telling us here. So yes, there's that. And let me also see what else I've got here for you, this was the map. Oh yeah, I wanted to show you this segment, which is from Heavy D Sparks. You see, they've got 2.01 million subscribers. Like, damn, that's great for this case, right? And just this one, you should really go watch this whole episode if you haven't yet. Please do. It's really good. But just this one little part, just where Candace is explaining a little bit about the truck and how it was parked. I agree, Saleo. I agree. That looks like the truck was driven home by someone else. We can, Gisela. I'm very jealous because I also want to. So if someone wants to give me their login details, I imagine that if a Grizzly in America wants to give me their login details for these like background check sites, I don't even think I'm allowed to ask that, but that would be amazing. Okay. It's very difficult to solve these cases that occur in small towns. Everyone covers for everyone else. That's the thing. They say people aren't talking. Okay, so watch this little portion here.
Her mind to her, you know, don't worry about it. He'll be okay. You know, it's Dylan. He's been out here for 3. You know, you just kind of roll with it. But yeah, so for
is there a chance that Don and Jim were at that shop when Dylan was taking the grain truck over there, and then from there something happened? because that's why his boots would be over there.
That's kind of the, yeah.
That theory, if you follow it, would want to make it look like he was a young kid that just took off on his own, being reckless and wild, but at the same time, make it look like
somewhere though.
Well, I don't know. They would make it look like he locked his truck.
Well, they're
You see? Are you following? If not, go watch this afterwards, right?
trying to point us in the direction of town, and they're not trying to make it look like he took off. They know Dylan well enough. You're never gonna pull that off. They're trying to make it look like it's away from here. Nothing happened out here. It's away from here.
Halfway in.
That's a huge red flag. You see that? That's what we said in the presentation now. And then just here, this one part here, I'm talking about the gate.
Between here, and they do put a padlock on it, but it's just a barbed wire gate. They said that's the first time Dylan's ever closed the gate when he's coming here to drop a truck off. But they said absolutely he had to leave that way because he closed the gate off of this road right here. And we know Dylan, he's going to take the shortest way to his trailer. He'd walk it, but he'd go straight across and have no problem walking through the desert.
He wouldn't take the road.
No.
He's by himself most of the time. He's been doing odd jobs all over, and he walks every place to move his equipment.
I mean,
Find a clue in the air.
start flying, and like you said, just spiral inward.
And that's what they eventually did. Cool job. Good job, guys. On my word. So, yes. Why is he always clothes off? This time his boots off. Well, yeah, just his boots were found. Wow. But not his cell phone, not his wallet. Obviously not Dylan. Not the keys to the truck. So that's interesting too. Wow. So there's that I just want to make sure that I showed you everything here. And then I want to show you one more time. So let's quickly look at this. This would be the discussion group, Find Dylan Rounds Official. So you can check this for updates and things like that on search parties, or if you're in the area and you can go and help out. That would be great too. And then, of course, hashtag Dylan Rounds. You can look here. It's a very useful tip on Twitter to obviously type in hashtag Dylan Rounds, for instance, or any case you want to look into, and just go to latest, and then you can see top as well. But latest is really great to see if there's any updates, So let's go up. Okay, so we've got Lady Justice sharing things. Not I'll be frank, did you miss? Okay, the live. So here's the live stream that Sleuth Mom just mentioned with another interview with Candace, I believe. Yes, so you can check here, guys. If you want the latest stuff, if you want to continue following this case, I'm gonna continue covering the case and seeing what the updates are. So yes, there's that. And then last, I just want to one more time so that you can all see it. For this one, just for fun, I'm going to play my map time song. Okay, so we are back here. Marco says I still don't get hashtags, so I will explain. Hashtags are just a way for the algorithm, for code to categorize things. I know a lot of people actually don't get hashtags, which is why I quite like your question, because some people think you can be like hashtag Wacky Wednesday, hashtag I hate my life, hashtag. It's not just made up stuff, it's a way to categorize information. So if you type in hashtag Dylan Rounds, all the information shared about the Dylan Rounds case and people who shared hashtag Dylan Rounds will go in one place, which is really, really helpful. So I'm one of those like label maker people, you know what I mean? I like categorizing things. So please do use the hashtag Trust the Family or the hashtag Dylan Rounds, or in the case we covered earlier, find Kelly Marie Vasquez. So find that as well. Yeah, and to find things, exactly. To find things, to categorize things and all that. So here we look one more time at the map so we don't get confused. Montello is where he was last physically seen at the Saddle Sore Bar and Grill. And then the farm is, if you want to find it, if anyone else wants to do some map time or something, Lucerne Airport is here. Okay, then you see this crop circle right here type thing. It looks like an ice cream cone to me because there's like a triangle and a bully. Getting inside my mind. Okay, so I'm like, all right. So there's that. So you go airport, then there's this. And then if you go this way, you see this road that makes like a T, like that. This is where the farm is. This is where the farm is, with the grain truck. This is the grain shed. This is where the grain truck was moved into. And his boots were found 100 yards. They said south of this, but it's kind of more to the southwestish in a mound of dirt. 100 yards. So let's do it like this. Oh yeah, I don't want to mess with that right now. I was gonna measure it, but I don't want to measure that right now. But 100 yards is not all that far, right? But like south-ish. The boots were found here in the farming area, but he stayed in another area in his camper 5 miles away. And as that guy said, he would sometimes walk through the desert to get to his camper. And I'm like, whoa, that's so far. That's so hectic. But yeah, okay, he was definitely a nature guy. So that would be around this area. So the pickup truck and the camper he lived in should have been in this area, right? And then, yeah, the ice cream circle. An ice cream circle, a new sign of mystery. I know, right? So this is where he was around. This is approximately where he was staying, as in like living and sleeping, right? Which I don't know why it's so far from where they're working on the farm. That I would like to know. Why don't you just put your camper right here? Where he stored the grain was his neighbors. Where he stored the grain was his neighbors that let him use it. Okay, maybe that makes sense. Okay. Yeah, Dylan's mom said he never had a date and didn't date in high school. Yes. Hashtag trust the family. Exactly. Thank you for sharing that. So, yes, if we look at the map again like this, you can see here's the border between, this is the Nevada side and this is the Utah side. So yeah, if he's last seen here, but his farm is here and the phone last pinged here, you see? It's like, whoa, like 2 different counties are going to be trying to handle this. And so yeah, the Elko County Sheriff's Department is helping with the search and rescue. But just look at this area. Also, Chris from the Mob Crew shared that this Great Salt Lake is 7 times more salty, 7 times saltier than the ocean. And they were saying, imagine if he walked across there and filmed it for us, but he's like, it's yucky, it's dirty. So yeah, Great Salt Lake Hills. Anyway, I've been talking for a very long time today. My word, I hope you got a good idea of the case. I hope I covered it well for you guys. Look how remote it is. You can just see there. I hope you understand it now for all visual learners out there. I hope you enjoyed, the pictures, the presentations, things like that. It always helps me make more sense of things. Sorry, I keep looking there because that's my other screen, and I just want to put this one up here. Okay. So I hope let me just check. I've got my presentation. I've shared the Twitter thing. Yes. And what else? I think that was about it. Any questions here? Thank you so much, the Lorax. See, this is why I'm going to clip it. Otherwise, some people with the replay, they're going to see, this is long. I'm not going to watch that. So I like to clip the cases and try to, let everyone have a chance to see the cases and really share them as well. Thank you so much, Kathy. Thank you very, very much. And thank you, Stefan. I see you already shared my episode on Twitter. I really appreciate it. Rob, Stefan, and all the Grizzlies who share my stuff. I really appreciate it. I want to show you one more thing before I go, which is this. So I've launched a new merch line. Of course, you guys know I do this a lot. Always making new merch for you. Grizzly Case Club is officially launched, which is what we do on Sundays. Every other Sunday, well, once a month, there won't be a case club because then I'm going to do the Grizzly VIP party, which is for members only and for patrons. But all the other Sundays, we're going to do Grizzly Case Club, which means it's kind of, remember the weekly catch-up? That's what it was like sort of called, but now it's called Grizzly Case Club, okay, on a Sunday. So if you want to get merch for that, then you can. There's a whole range for you as well. So that's that. And thank you to everyone who's subscribed to my second channel as well, Grizzly Antidote. I will be live on that channel tomorrow. I go live there every Tuesday. I call it Spill the Tea Tuesdays. Tea Spill Tuesdays. Yes. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it. You're like, that was quick. I know, right? That's what I was doing a lot today as well. Making new merch. So I'm going to show you one more time for guys who don't know about it. Here we go. If you go to my you could also go to playlists and you can find all these missing persons cases as well there. Grizzly Antidote is over here, and I'm going to be live there tomorrow talking about the stuff, which has got nothing to do with true crime. But yeah, Justin Bieber's condition, Britney's meltdown, and all sorts of things. So it's all entertainment news. So if that's something you like, especially as a little break from true crime, I really like it as well, because these Sundays and Mondays are extremely intense, for me at least, energy-wise. And so I really like to balance out my energy by just talking about something else on a Tuesday. So I will be there on a Tuesday at 5 p.m. Eastern. Thank you so much. I'm so glad you liked the presentation. Again, thank you so much to Grizzly Antidote, the antidote to true crime. Thank you. I really appreciate it. Thanks, Jill. You say this was awesome. It's so nice seeing all of you here. I really, really love it when you guys are here with me. Please do hit the thumbs up. I see some of you leaving already. All the lurkers. There were some lurkers on the last episode that said, hi, I'm a lurker. That was so cute. So welcome, lurkers. Thank you, everyone. I appreciate you, and I look forward to seeing you share this episode. Thank you again to Kelly's family from the earlier part of the stream for being on the show. I really, really appreciate that as well. And I will be pinning those comments that I promised to pin afterwards, okay? What do the colored icons mean? The colored icons. Where? Do you mean the emojis, or what are you talking about? Because you remember, right? You remember, Marco? Yeah. So go look on my community tab, okay, members, to see a bigger picture, a bigger version of the emojis that I've just launched for you guys. And Saleo, I did add the bear paw. I did. We love all the lurkers. The ones who are lurking and working. I bet there's some people listening to this at work, right? Oh, what do the different icons by name stand by? Okay, so the little different icons is just neon bears that are next to your names, and it's just for how long you've been a member. But because all the membership tiers offer the exact same benefits, same as on Patreon, I want you guys to choose how much you support the channel. Instead of saying, no, for $5 you get this and 10 you get that. I want it to be equal for everyone. So you donate what you want to, and it's just different colors of the bear based on how long you've been there. Yes, you can check it on my page, on my channel. If you go there to the membership area, the join button or whatever, it will show you what they all mean. Thank you. Thank you so much, Rob. Thank you, everyone, again, for your super chats, your super stickers. Thank you to everyone who, after this episode, I'm thanking you in advance, who get that super thanks. It's like a heart with a little dollar in it. Thank you so much for that as well. That's very supportive, for the PayPals, buy me a coffees, and all that stuff. Last thing. I've also launched a new notebook, okay, for those of you who collect my notebooks. And it will be called Case Club. Same design as the merch. It's going to look like this size, but it's a Case Club one. And that should be coming out in the next 3 days. It's already published, but it will only be public in 2 or 3 days. Okay, so thank you so much, Lieutenant Peter Pronza, for being here, and Rochelle. I'm a lurker that's usually working for sure, doing housework. That's awesome. Hasta la pasta, Bill. Glad you guys enjoyed waffle time. I'll be launching some waffle merch soon too, because we definitely waffle sometimes. I appreciate you. I'm going to go and drink some tea now and try to just calm down. I always get so excited to see you guys. Yes. Wonderful journaling, wonderful listing. Very nice, very nice. Thanks, Marco. I really appreciate it. Let's play that outro, okay? And mold that like